Hello. I'm just Yvonne, your Bookbae, coming on with a quick review today. I hope this video finds you well. So I'm driving home and I said, you know what? Instead of waiting, what better time to do a book review than right now while I have the time in traffic. So the last book I completed was The Problem with Falling by Brittainy Cherry. This was actually my first book that I had ever read by her. It was really good. She was actually recommended to me by another YouTuber by the name of Shaughnessy Schroeder. I think I'm saying her last name correctly. She has a book channel as well, and I think she might be kind of a little bit of lifestyle also, but she recommended the book, actually not the book but the author. And so when I saw that the author had a book that came out this year, I decided, why not? What the heck, let me try a new author I've never heard of, I've never read from, based on Shaughnessy's views. And it was an amazing read. Now, she does have at the beginning a trigger warning because there is like a essay in there that happens, but it doesn't go into a big detail, but it is mentioned. So she does want to give anybody a heads up, just in case that's something that is triggering. That way, if you don't want to read or even come upon it, then she does give that heads up at the very beginning of the book. And this is a fictional book, but it is a beautiful love story. And you can tell that both people, Willow and the main character, the guy, I can't think of his name at this very moment, you can tell that they're both looking for a safe place. And we all know that life can lead us down various paths. It has its ups and downs, disappointments, you know, life be lifing sometimes. And it's basically just two people that find each other and provide a safe space for one another. And we all know how important providing a safe space for someone really is. So I'm not going to give any spoilers, so I'm really thinking through what I'm saying here. But it is a very happy ending. I think this book will move you to tears. It will, I don't know, I'm not going to even lie to you. After I finished reading it, I was kind of just left in a state of what felt like oxytocin. Like I was on this unbelievable high after reading it, that I wanted to just sit back and really like just marinate in it. It just felt that good. And the interesting thing is, when I was reading this, it kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Nicholas Sparks, but it kind of reminded me of some of his movies that he's come out with. One of the great ones that he had was like Safe Haven. Everybody knows and loves The Notebook. And I can't remember the other one. It was one with Miley Cyrus, and then the one Dear John. Like it put me in the mind of those kind of romantic type movies, because it's always a happy ending, and it always starts off in a not necessarily negative, but someone who is searching and trying to get back to, you know, find their way, you know, like all of us. So yeah, I think that is gonna be the gist of that review. I would definitely say pick it up if you are in the mood for something say different, but romantic, that is gonna captivate you, keep you on your toes. I mean, I really devoured the book. I mean, when I say devoured, I devoured the book. It was, in no time, I could not put it down. It was truly a page turner. I wanted to see what was happening next, and even when I pick up my other book, I'll be thinking about this book. I was just so drawn to it, and I guess it's just, and I'll say this from my perspective, it's wanting to see people win. I really believe that there is something out there for all of us, happiness, and I truly like to see people win, and I love to see it. And even if it's not happening directly to me, it feels good to see others winning. You know, it feels good because you know you're in line next, or maybe you're not next, but it still feels good to see other people winning and being happy and finding their happily ever after. Because like I said, this world can be tough. And one thing I found interesting, and this is, I wish everyone could really experience the kind of love that Willow experiences here, and vice versa. What he experienced as well. I think sometimes people don't want to be transparent or let their guard down, and I think walking around with walls up all the time, it's not going to get you the desired effect or the desired results that you really desire, but you're too afraid to put into words or too afraid to articulate because of whatever has happened to you in your past, whether it's from your childhood or whether it's from, you know, your teenage years, or rejection. I don't know. It could be so many things that transpired and made people who they are. But yeah, that's just my little tidbit on it. And then I was going to share this note, and we're at a light. This is the author's note here. It says, this story is a tale about two individuals who fall in love. While this is a contemporary romance with lots of elements of heart, it also deals with deep conversations and reflections of personal growth and personal struggles. For those reasons, I'd like to note that parts of this story may be sensitive to a few readers due to the subject matter, which includes abandonment, mentions of just talked about, you know, sexual assault, basically, of a side character, death, self-deprecating thoughts of someone who is disabled, depression, and conversations of loss and verbal abuse. So yeah, she put that in there so people will be aware that that is a part of the story. But it was beautiful, and it was beautiful also to see people. I think sometimes I think we forget how important examples are, and I think it was really beautiful to see that the guy's name was Theo. It was beautiful to see Theo's grandparents, their love as well. it was nice to see that he had that in his life, his grandparents' love. And then even though outwardly he was one way, you know, like those big teddy bear type people that wear their armor, but once you get to know them, they're really tender and soft. I think that was because of his grandparents, the reason why he was able to be tender and soft, even though life had, you know, gave him some negative blows. And I think that's why representation is so important, even in relationships, because seeing his grandparents' love story was really beautiful. I don't know why I said representation, because this is like an interracial couple, but I'm not gonna lie, even as a black woman, I like to see, it doesn't matter what color you are, I like to see people that have survived their youth and then they're still together, like, you know, in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. I think it's a beautiful story. I think there's a lot of wisdom there. And I'm not talking about the ones that just stayed and were abused. I'm talking about the ones that stayed and actually had healthy, good relationships, that liked each other, that had fun. I can still remember as a kid, like my papa would make my grandmother laugh. She, you know, he just did things, and even if she got mad at him, he would make her laugh, and then we knew everything was okay. But anyway, yes, if you are in the mood for a love story, this is it. So let me read the back again. I read it before. Willow Kingsley is everything I don't need in my life. She's sunshine and chaos, dressed in a flower crown. She's a wildflower in a world I've spent years trying to keep simple and quiet. She talks too much, smiles too easily, and doesn't understand the meaning of personal space. Worst of all, she's staying in my house for the summer, turning my carefully guarded world upside down. I know I should keep my distance. People like her don't stay away, and I've had my fill of being left behind. But the more time I spend with her, the harder it is to remember why I built these walls in the first place. She's getting under my skin, into my heart, and making me want things I've spent years trying to avoid. Falling for Willow would be a mistake. She's a free bird, and I'm the anchor she's desperate to escape. But every time she looks at me, I can't help but wonder, what if she's not the one who's meant to fly? What if this time I'm meant to soar? I love that. And this part here at the end, no, that's a spoiler. I won't give that to you. But what I will say is, what I loved is that sometimes people can heal you and you not even know it until later. Or sometimes you can heal other people with your words, with your encouragement, with your energy, and not even know it. Today I was at work, and we have a new young woman that is doing cleanup, and she doesn't speak English, and she used Google Translator to talk to me. And I've been seeing her and saying hello, and you know, as she takes the, you know, the trash and, you know, cleans and do whatever else. And today she came into my office and she said she's spoken to the Google Translator. She spoke Spanish. I didn't know what she was saying, but she told me, she said, I really like you. She said, you are such a nice person. And I said, oh, thank you so much. And she was like, yeah, I just wanted to communicate that with you because I don't speak English. And this is how I communicate with people, is through my Google Translator on my phone. And I thought, you know what? You just never know, by saying hello, a smile, acknowledging people, what that may do for someone during the day. So be kind to people just because, okay? Let me see. Let me see if I want to share anything else. Let's see. I have to wrap it up for you guys. Let's see. Not that one. Oh, you know what? Let's see. We're gonna hit a red light right here. I have to go the back way when I get to going home. The interstates were like packed out. I love this part when she says, I wanted him, the good, the bad, and the broken parts too. Now tell me who says that. Who normally wants the broken parts too? Normally people want you to be perfect. They want you to be almost robotic and not mess up or do everything wrong. But yeah, I loved that part when Willow said that about Theo. Yeah, it's a love story. We all know what that feels like. At some point in time of our lives, we've all been there, we've all done it. Actually, you know what? I will not say that. I have met people that have not. That's what they've said. But anyway, enough rambling. Get the book. It is so good. I had to do a reading wrap up on it and just tell you about it, because that is how good the book was. I mean, I had to sit with it after I read it, but the oxytocin was high. I was on a high and I felt so good. I felt like it was my own love story or something, you know. Anyway, have an amazing, what is today? Tuesday? And take care, stay in peace, stay positive, and stay empowered. Bye-bye.